Most of the advice you hear about men and intimacy focuses on chemistry, but chemistry is the easy part. You can find that with a stranger on a Friday night. What's rare and what actually defines your future is attunement. If you want to know if a man is truly, deeply in love with you, you have to stop listening to what he says at 200 p.m. and start watching what he does at 200 a.m. Today, I'm going to show you the 5 unmistakable markers of a man who isn't just visiting your world, but who is building a home in it. Let's decode the language of a heart that's finally found its match. We've all been told that men are simple. We're told that if the chemistry is there, it must mean something. But the truth is, chemistry is cheap. You can find chemistry with a stranger in a bar. What's expensive, what's rare, is attunement. When a man truly loves you, the bedroom stops being a theater for his ego and starts being a sanctuary for your connection. Most people look for love in the grand gestures, the flowers, the dinners, the I love yous. But if you want to know the truth of a man's heart, you look at him when the lights are low and the masks are off. The first thing you'll notice is that he stops being the main character. In a casual fling, a man is a consumer. He's there to get what he needs. But when his love is genuine, he becomes a provider. Your pleasure isn't just a bonus for him, it's his mission. He watches your face, he listens to your breath, and he finds his own greatest thrill in the moment he knows he's taken you over the edge. Then there's the gaze of recognition. We've talked about the intentional gaze, but this is different. This is the look that says, I see all of you, and I'm not going anywhere. When a man loves you, he doesn't close his eyes to hide in a fantasy. He keeps them open because the reality of you is better than anything he could imagine. But perhaps the most telling sign is the vulnerable surrender. Society tells men to be stoic, to be in control, to be the rock. But in the arms of the woman he loves, he finally lets go. He whispers your name not just as a sound, but as a claim. He allows himself to be seen in his rawest, most unpolished state because he trusts you with his vulnerability. And finally, watch the post-peak anchor. The man who is just passing through is already thinking about his phone or his sleep the moment it's over. But the man who loves you, he lingers. He pulls you into the safety shield. He wants to stay in that bubble of oxytocin and connection because, for him, the intimacy didn't end with the physical act, it only just began. So, don't just listen to what he tells you at 200 p.m., watch what he shows you at 200 a.m., because a man can lie with his words, but he can never lie with his soul when it's wrapped in yours. When you find that man, you haven't just found a lover, you've found a partner who sees your pleasure as his purpose and your heart as his home. The priority of your peak. From consumer to provider in the landscape of modern dating, we are often taught to settle for compatibility. We look for someone who checks the boxes, someone who shows up on time, someone who is nice. But in the sanctuary of the bedroom, nice isn't enough. If you want to know if a man is truly, deeply, and authentically in love with you, you have to look at his definition of success. For a man who is just visiting, the finish line is his own satisfaction. But for a man whose love is genuine, the priority of your peak becomes his singular obsession. This isn't just about being unselfish. It's a fundamental shift in his psychological identity from a consumer to a provider. The scoreboard of the soul for a man, performance, is often tied to his ego. In a casual encounter, he wants to perform well, because he wants to feel capable. He wants to know he did a good job. But when love enters the equation, the ego takes a backseat to the connection. He stops looking at your pleasure as a task to be completed and starts seeing it as the scoreboard of his soul. When your pleasure is his priority, he isn't rushing. He isn't looking for the shortcut. He is attuned to the micro signals of your body, the way your breath hitches, the way your grip tightens, the subtle flush of your skin. He is playing a long game because he realizes that your peak is the moment where you are most exposed, most raw, and most connected to him. By prioritizing your climax, he is essentially saying, I want to be the one who takes you there. I want to be the reason you lose control. The mission-oriented Love affair is a specific biological drive in a man that awakens when he loves a woman, the desire to provide. Usually we think of this in terms of a house, a career, or protection. But in lovemaking, that provider instinct translates into a relentless focus on your satisfaction. Image a high contrast diagram showing two different energy flows. One shows a closed loop, self-focused, and the other shows an expansive, radiating loop as partner-focused, symbolizing the shift in priority. He becomes mission-oriented. If you are tired, he adjusts. If you need more time, he gives it. He doesn't see your needs as an inconvenience, he sees them as a roadmap. A man who loves you will never leave you behind. He would rather spend an hour ensuring you are taken care of than spend 5 minutes on a selfish victory. For him, the win doesn't happen when he finishes. The win happens when he looks at you and sees that you have been completely fulfilled by him. The validation of connection. Why is this so addictive for a man in love? Because your peak is the ultimate feedback. It is the undeniable physical proof that he has had a profound impact on you. In a world where men often feel like they have to guess if they are doing enough, your pleasure provides him with total certainty. When you prioritize your own pleasure with a man who loves you, you aren't being demanding. You are giving him the opportunity to be the hero of your story. You are allowing him to fulfill his deepest instinct, to be the one who provides you with the highest highs you've ever known. When a man makes your peak his priority, he isn't just making love, he is building a monument to how much he values you. Gemini said, the lingering gaze, the difference between parts and the person in the heat of a physical encounter. Most people are focused on the what. They are focused on the sensation, the movement, and the biological urge to reach a conclusion. But when a man is genuinely in love with you, his focus shifts from the what to the oh. This transition is most clearly seen in what I call the lingering gaze. This isn't the fleeting eye contact of a casual fling, it is a deep, soul-searching look that persists even, and especially, when the intensity is at its highest. Lust looks at parts, love looks at the person. The lingering gaze is the bridge between a physical act and a spiritual connection. Witnessing vs consuming in a casual setting, a man's eyes often wander. He is looking at your body as a landscape of pleasure. He is consuming the visual data to fuel his own arousal. It's transactional. But when a man loves you, he doesn't want to hide in a fantasy. He wants to be fully present in your reality. He looks you in the eye because he wants to witness you. There is a profound vulnerability in keeping your eyes open during intimacy. It's the refusal to retreat into one's own head. When he maintains that gaze, he is telling you, I see the rawest version of you, the version without the makeup, the social filters, or the perfect persona, and I am more attracted to you now than ever. For a man in love, your face is the most erotic thing in the room because it is the map of your emotions. He is watching your joy, your surrender, and your trust, and he is anchoring his own pleasure in yours. The mirror of the soul biologically. Deep eye contact triggers a limbic resonance. It's a state where two people's nervous systems synchronize. When he holds your gaze, he is essentially inviting his brain to tune in to yours. This is why a lingering gaze can feel more naked than actually being naked. An image, a cinematic, high-definition close-up of two people's faces inches apart. The focus is entirely on the intense, soft, yet piercing eye contact between them, with the rest of the world falling away into a dark, warm bokeh. A man who is just visiting will often close his eyes to stay in his own world. But a man who loves you wants to see the light go out in your eyes when you lose control. He wants to see the exact moment you let go. Why? Because it's the ultimate validation. It tells him that he is the one you trust with your most unguarded self. By witnessing your peak, he is claiming a part of your soul that no one else gets to see. The afterglow gaze, the lingering. Part of this gaze doesn't just happen during the act. It's most powerful in the moments immediately following. Most men have a refractory period where their focus naturally drifts. But a man in love will continue to look at you with a sense of wonder and soft pride. He isn't looking for the exit. He is looking for more of you. This gaze is his way of saying, I'm still here. It's the silent confirmation that the connection wasn't just a means to an end. When you find a man who can't seem to take his eyes off yours, even when the lights are low and the adrenaline is fading, you haven't just found a lover. You've found someone who recognizes your worth beyond the physical. You've found a man who is in love with the person, not just the parts. The safety shield. The protective instinct in the private. In our modern world, we often view protection as something grand and public. A man standing up for you in a crowd or providing a sense of financial security. But the deepest, most authentic form of protection happens in the most private moments. When a man is genuinely in love with you, a switch flips in his lizard brain. He moves from being a seeker of pleasure to being a guardian of your well-being. This is the safety shield, and it is one of the most undeniable markers of a man whose heart is fully committed to you. That safety shield is the instinctive, almost subconscious way he prioritizes your physical and emotional comfort, even when he is at his most distracted and vulnerable. The guardian of the peak. During intimacy, your body goes through a massive physiological shift. You are exposed, your heart rate is elevated, and you are, quite literally, unguarded. For a man who is just passing through, this is simply the environment for his own satisfaction. But for the man who loves you, your vulnerability triggers his protective instinct. Watch the way he handles you. It's the hand that automatically slides behind your head to cushion you against the headboard. It's the way he shifts his weight so he isn't crushing you, or the way he pauses to check your expression to ensure you're okay with the intensity. He is creating a buffer between you and any possible discomfort. In his mind, he has become a shield. He wants the experience to be intense, yes, but he never wants it to be scary or unpleasant. He is curating the environment to ensure your nervous system stays in a state of safe excitement rather than survival stress. The post-peak enclosure, the most obvious manifestation of the safety shield, happens in the refractory period, the moments immediately following the climax. This is the time when most men feel a biological urge to detack or reset. But a man in love does the opposite. He encloses. Image at a high contrast, cinematic shot of a man's large, protective arms wrapped completely around a woman in a post-intimacy cuddle, his chin resting on the top of her head as if shielding her from the rest of the world. He pulls you into his safety shield. He tucks you under his arm, covers you with the sheets, or pulls your back against his chest. This is the cradle position, and it is a primal signal of ownership and protection. By pulling you into his personal space, he is telling the world and your subconscious, you are safe here. I am the wall between you and everything else. This isn't just a cuddle, it's a claim. He is recharging his own energy by feeling the safety he is providing for you. Emotional security as a shield. The safety shield isn't just physical, it's emotional. A man who loves you will shield you from the shame or awkwardness that can sometimes follow deep intimacy. He uses his words and his touch to tell you that you are beautiful, that you are enough, and that he is proud to be with you. When you feel that shield around you, it allows you to go deeper into your own pleasure. You can let go completely because you know with absolute certainty that he is there to catch you. When a man acts as your shield, he isn't just a lover, he is your sanctuary. He is showing you that his love isn't just a feeling, it's a commitment to your peace of mind. Vocal vulnerability. The breaking of the facade. In the social world, men are conditioned to be the masters of their own composure. From a young age, they are taught that strength is synonymous with silence, and that having it all together is the ultimate masculine virtue. They wear a mask of stoicism, a cool exterior designed to project capability and control. But when a man is genuinely in love with you, that mask doesn't just slip, it shatters. Vocal vulnerability is the sound of a man who has finally found a place where he no longer needs to be the rock. This isn't about the performative noises seen in movies. It is the raw, unpolished, and often surprising way a man's voice changes when he stops doing and starts feeling. The shift from performance to presence. When a man is in a casual encounter, his vocalizations are often part of the act. He makes the sounds he thinks he's supposed to make to show he's enjoying himself or to encourage his partner. It's a performance of masculinity, but when he loves the woman he is with, he loses the ability to curate his sound. Vocal vulnerability is characterized by a lack of filter. It's the sharp intake of breath when he looks at you, the low, guttural moan that he can't seem to suppress, or the way his voice cracks when he whispers your name. These aren't cool sounds, they are primal sounds. They signal that he is so overwhelmed by the connection and the sensation that his logical, composed brain has been bypassed. He isn't making noise. The noise is being forced out of him by the sheer weight of his emotion. The sacredness of your name, one of the most profound markers of vocal vulnerability, is the way he speaks your name. For a man who is just visiting, your name is a label. For a man who loves you, your name is a prayer. Image, an audio waveform visualization showing two distinct patterns. One is jagged and inconsistent, casual, performative, and the other is deep, resonant, and steady, genuine, connected, symbolizing the heart note of a man in love. Listen for the heart note, that specific vibration in his voice that only comes out in the dark. When he says your name in the height of passion, it's not just an identifier, it's an acknowledgement of your power over him. He is admitting, through his tone alone, that you are the center of his universe in that moment. He is whispering your name because he is seeking an anchor in the storm of his own desire, the courage to be uncool. A man in love is willing to sound weak or desperate in the best possible way. He might tell you how much he needs you, or how incredible you make him feel in a voice that is stripped of all bravado. This is high-stakes communication. He is handing you the keys to his emotional kingdom by showing you exactly how much influence you have over him. By allowing you to hear him in this raw state, he is practicing psychological nakedness. He is trusting you not to judge his lack of composure, but to cherish it. When you hear that shift in his voice, the move from the public man to the private man, you are hearing the sound of a man who is truly home. He isn't just making love to your body, he is speaking directly from his soul to yours, and that is a conversation that requires no cool and no filters. Gemini said the after peak anchor, the litmus test of longevity. If you want to know the truth about a man's feelings, don't look at the fire while it's burning. Look at what happens when the flames start to settle. In the world of casual dating, there is a phenomenon known as post-coital tristesse, or the refractory reset, where the sudden drop in dopamine and testosterone causes a man to feel an instinctive urge to detach, distance, or literally walk out the door. But when a man is genuinely in love, his biology takes a different path. Instead of drifting away, he performs the after-peak anchor. The after-peak anchor is the deliberate act of staying present, connected, and physically entwined long after the biological job is done. It is the bridge between a physical event and a lasting relationship. The oxytocin overdrive when a man is just passing through. His post-intimacy experience is dominated by a desire for autonomy. He wants his space back. He wants his phone. He wants to return to the world of doing. But when he loves you, his brain is flooded with oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This chemical shift creates a gravity well. He doesn't want to move because in his mind, the most valuable place in the world is right where he is. The anchor is his way of extending the moment. He isn't looking for the exit. He is trying to stop time. Whether he is stroking your hair, tracing the lines of your palm, or simply breathing in sync with you, he is anchoring his soul to yours. He is telling you that the intimacy wasn't a means to an end. The intimacy is the end. The no mask conversation, the moments following deep intimacy, are often the most honest 15 minutes of a man's life. This is when the no mask conversation happens. Because his defenses are down and his safety shield is up, he will often share thoughts, dreams, or vulnerabilities that he wouldn't dream of mentioning over dinner or a drink. Can image a soft focus, intimate shot of a couple's silhouettes against a window at dawn, their foreheads touching in a quiet, post-intimacy conversation. The lighting is warm and ethereal, suggesting a sacred space of truth. A man who loves you uses this time to anchor the emotional connection. He asks about your day, he listens to your quietest thoughts, and he shares his own. He is checking in on your spirit. If he's just visiting, the conversation is shallow or non-existent. But if he's anchoring, the conversation is where the real bonding occurs. He is treating the afterglow not as a cool down, but as the main event of the heart, the refusal of the fade. We've all heard of the hit and run, or the silent exit. Those are the marks of a man who fears connection. The after peak anchor is the ultimate sign of a man who embraces it. Even if he's exhausted, even if he has to be up in 4 hours, the man who loves you will prioritize the hold. He wants the skin to skin contact to linger, because he knows that this is where the trust is built. By anchoring himself to you, he is providing the final proof of his genuineness. He is showing you that he values you just as much, if not more, when the act is over as he did when it began. When a man anchors himself to you in the quiet, he isn't just staying for the night. He's showing you that he's staying for the long haul. Intuitive adaptation, the mastery of attunement in any high-level skill, whether it's a master chef adjusting a recipe mid-sear or a world-class musician improvising in a jazz club. The mark of greatness is the ability to adapt in real time. In the bedroom, most men rely on a standard operating procedure. They have a routine, a set of moves they've learned through trial and error, and they apply that template to every woman they meet. But when a man is genuinely in love with you, he throws the template away. He moves into a state of intuitive adaptation. This is the shift from doing things to you to being with you. It is the highest form of physical intelligence, and it only happens when a man's heart is as engaged as his body. The death of the routine. A man who is just visiting treats intimacy like a performance he has already rehearsed. He isn't really listening to your body. He's just waiting for his turn to speak. But love is attentive. When a man loves you, he becomes a student of your specific nervous system. Intuitive adaptation means he is constantly calibrating. He notices the millisecond your breathing changes. He feels the slight tensing of your shoulder or the way your grip on his arm softens. And the moment he feels it, he pivots. He doesn't wait for you to ask, he anticipates. If he feels you drifting, he changes the pace. If he feels you peaking, he doubles down on the pressure. He is raiding the room of your skin with a level of focus that a casual partner simply cannot sustain. The mirroring of the nervous system biologically. This is known as physiological sensing. When two people are deeply in love, their heart rates and breathing patterns actually begin to mirror one another during intimacy. For the man, this sensing allows him to feel your pleasure as if it were his own. Chemistry, a high-definition, conceptual visualization of two glowing, interconnected nervous systems. The pulses of light are moving in perfect synchronicity, showing the biofeedback loop between two people in total attunement. He stops being a leader or a follower and starts being a partner. He is no longer trying to get you there. He is experiencing the journey with you. This level of adaptation requires a massive amount of cognitive empathy, the ability to understand what another person is feeling without them saying a word. In a man who is just looking for a physical release, this part of the brain is largely switched off. But in a man who loves you, it is glowing bright red. The language of the unspoken. The most beautiful part of intuitive adaptation is that it makes words unnecessary. It's the silent conversation. When he moves exactly how you want of him to move, before you even knew you wanted it, it creates a profound sense of being known. For a woman, there is nothing more validating than a man who gets her body without a manual. It tells you that he has been paying attention. It tells you that he has invested the time and the emotional energy to learn your unique pleasure language. When a man adapts intuitively, he is giving you the ultimate gift, the gift of not having to manage him. You can drop your guard completely because you trust that he is already 2 steps ahead of your needs. He isn't just making love. He is practicing a form of wordless devotion that says, I see you, I hear you, and I am exactly what you need right now. At the end of the day, a man can lie with his words, and he can even lie with his grand gestures. But he can never lie with his soul when he is completely exposed. When you find a man who makes your pleasure his mission, who shields you in your vulnerability, and who anchors himself to you long after the fire has settled. You haven't just found a lover. You've found a partner who sees you as his sanctuary. Don't settle for the routine when you deserve the attunement. Because when a man loves you for real, he doesn't just make love to your body, he recognizes your soul. And that is a connection that never fades.